The first thing to me that stood out was how aggressive he was. While being a rookie in a playoff setting, he was in non-stop attack mode. The results weren't always super positive, but I think having that kind of mindset in a high-stress environment is a big deal. And from a skill standpoint, Shea always had really good patience in the lane, and in spots, this was enough to make up for his lack of strength and lift. He was very good at finding finishing windows by playing off 2 feet, by either pulling the defense out of position by slamming the brakes, or kind of altering his speed into his layups. This move here is slick, where he's first going to hit this push cross towards the middle, and he's going to casually pick up the ball off 2 feet in the lane, to then sneak through this inside hand finish. And playing off 2 feet like this also allowed him to alter his flight path to the basket. He's attacking across the paint to his right here, but watch him again pick up on 2 and float past Cousins back to his left. And Shea also had that same patience to his game off the bounce. This is a simple change of pace move, where off the screen, he's going to lift up his chest and turn his head. And when he feels an open space, he's going to drop back down into his drive. And again, while this version of Shea wasn't a top-tier athlete, he still had a really good way of covering ground on the floor. This is a high pickup just one step below the 3. And from here, he can extend to the rim with 2 long strides. So as an off-the-dribble slasher in his rookie year, I would say Shea was pretty good. For being just 20, he already had a good foundation of skill. But again, because of that lack of strength and explosiveness, it was hard to picture him developing into one of the better paint scorers across the league. Now, when jumping ahead just 2 years to his 2021 season with OKC, this is where we begin to see some legit improvements with his strength and control in the lane, by both initiating contact more in the paint, plus seeking out that confrontation early into his drives. As he turns the corner off the screen to his right, look who's going to push the ball across to his left, to then get into the defense's body right at the elbow, and he carves out this lane all the way to the basket. And with an additional 2 years of experience, Shea was also a lot more comfortable dealing with traffic in the paint. As opposed to gathering and forcing up finishes, he was much better at either using his strides to find a different angle, using his touch to float the ball over the backline defense, or pull the defense out of position with his deceleration. And at this point, Shea was already a really tough one-on-one matchup on the perimeter. The pace, ball control, and footwork was already elite. And if you left him out on an island with any mismatch, it was going to be a guaranteed blow-by. Now, even with all these improvements, Shea was still just 22, so a lot of those issues that we saw in his rookie year were still bleeding over into his 3rd season. Physical defenders could still have their way with him, and the reads in traffic still had to be sharpened up. Again, like we saw with LA, he was prone to quick gathers and rushing up finishes. Even if he initially created a good angle, he would often force up that pickup and lose position. But when jumping ahead another 2 years, this is when I think Shea really became Shea. He was averaging over 31 points per game while making All-NBA first team. OKC may have gotten bounced out in the play-in, but this was the year where Chet was hurt, and J-Dub was just a rookie. I think this year Shea was already a top 5 player in the NBA, but his team just hadn't caught up yet.
Alexander, the move, the drive, shot is good.
Now, during the 2023 season, I think a strong case could be made that Shea was the best slasher in the NBA. He was averaging 10.7 points per game around the basket, which was the most for all guards and wings. And this was when he really began to put everything together. Again, he had the ball skills and footwork to cook anybody in open space.